Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the most unusual tarot reading you're going to run into. I've done tarot for over 20 years. In that time, I have discovered tarot is not meant to predict anything. Never was. Tarot is the science of potential. Yeah, science of potential. That means you are a critical factor. What I do every day, 365, take no breaks, is I seek to help you to manifest. I seek to inspire you to manifest, to create the pictures within your own mind, your own imagination. Not from artificial intelligence or some computer of one kind or another, smartphone. None of that. None of that. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and others in high tech kept their kids away from computers and technology for as long as they could. They even sent them to schools where for at least the first 8 years they were not exposed in school to tech at all. Why? Because they understood the power of the human mind. And that's what we're dealing with here. Manifesting. That is the kryptonite in your life. And it is the one advantage we have right now over the robotic revolution. That's what they want to do. They want to get rid of all of us. Just saw a quote from Bill Gates just the other day. Wants to get rid of 94% of the people on the planet right now. That's big stuff. One of the ways that they can do it is by breaking down your humanity. And one of the ways that they can do that is to get you to believe computers are better than you, robots are better than you, and they're going to beat you. Again, the one piece of kryptonite that you have is the ability to manifest, create the pictures within your own mind. That's why I do what I do. So what I do is offer you a package. First of all, you see on your screen 4 tarot cards, another card in the middle. I call it the Oracle card. It kind of sets the mood for the reading. That's all I do. That's all you're going to see. I want you to close your eyes. You can get up, have a cup of coffee or tea or make a sandwich, whatever the heck you want to do, but you're still listening. And that's what I want you to do, is to listen. Listening alone helps you to visualize, helps you to manifest. If you're watching something on the screen, that replaces your imagination. That gives the power to technology. That makes you powerless and takes your humanity. So the important thing is to give you a good, clear, concise message, a frequency, so that you can figure how that frequency fits into your life. I go a little farther to help you in that regard. Like I said, this is a tarot reading primarily. Everything is focused through the tarot, but I also use numerology. I also use astrology. I've done those things for over 50 years. Tarot, over 20. So I combine these to help give you a big picture of the frequency within the context of your life. Because numerology, astrology, they are the science of cycles, within cycles, within cycles, within cycles, within cycles, within cycles. And there's a science to it. I'll talk about that hopefully in the next day or two. It was an experiment initially done just after World War II. An engineer tried something that nobody had ever tried and thought was bullshit, turned out not to be bullshit at all. We'll talk about that coming up in the next day or two as I remember. But today, we're going to focus on the energy for today, and we're going to use astrology today to help us, to give you that foundation. Here's the storyline. Here's the energy. It happened before. And I'll give you an example, and it's coming back again. You put those two things together and you begin to go, okay, I kind of get the sense, kind of get the feeling. You see how they match. Now, once you get to that point, now you can start to manifest with the tarot, the frequency. You see the field. You know how to use the energy better. So today, the Oracle card, one in the middle, says, to the sea. Well, the sea or ocean is very, very Neptunian. It's like emotions. You can't touch them, but you can feel them. The fog that people have been experiencing over the past several months, that weird fog that likely comes from chemtrails, that's Neptunian. Fog is Neptunian. So there's definitely a Neptune-like quality about our life right now. It's not the only one, but with this Oracle card, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. In other words, we are surrounded by this illusion or delusion, this technological fog, and yet it doesn't serve us. We see it, we experiencing it. You know, it's like the chemtrails. They're there, and then 24 hours from now, if they don't come by again, they're gone. You'd never know they were there, but they've done their damage. So it's to the sea. It's the connecting to our intuition, our gut. That's where the answer is. Always has been. The meme for today comes from C.S. Lewis. He says, one of the most cowardly things ordinary people do is to shut their eyes to facts. And boy, there's been a lot of that going on. Whew. That's why I have decided to do the tarot reading using, where appropriate, astrology and numerology, to help round out the picture, to help you to see the facts. Even if you shut your eyes, you can still intuit. Remember, water, that's intuition. You can feel it. And because we're talking about water, and because water's Neptunian, I decided to do a little investigation into the planet Neptune. Turns out we have a direct relationship with Neptune energy. Back in about 1896, Henry Ford started to put the car together. First car, you know. Not that he invented the automobile, he didn't. But he was the one that popularized the automobile. Assembly line and all that made cars ubiquitous. He was the guy who really put the car on the road. And so if you take a complete cycle and run it up, a complete Neptune cycle, you will see we're dealing with electric cars. You go back to the Neptune cycle in the beginning, in the late 1890s, that's when, for all intents and purposes, cars became practical. Now you go to the end of the cycle, what do you know? We're changing and going into the electric stuff. And for all intents and purposes, no matter the sophistication of technology, we're in the same place as the Model T was. Just the beginning phases. Interesting. But here we can add a little extra. How about the planet Uranus, planet of revolution, of change? From 1896 to World War II, plenty of cars. But at World War II, Uranus came to an opposition from its point when the car was first invented. The halfway point in the circle, okay? In 1940, 41 stuff, the war happened and we didn't have cars. Well, you build on now to today, We've completed the cycle again. We're back at the halfway point again. And we kind of have no cars. Cars are getting very expensive. People can't afford to keep them, can't afford to buy them, can't afford. It's the same thing that happened in World War II. So to kind of give you kind of a clarification here without getting too much into astrology, in the 1890s, the practical car was invented. Today, we're now moving that same energy into electric cars. You start at the beginning of the cars in the 1890s, you go to World War II, we have no cars. And you go ahead 84 years, a whole Uranus cycle, where it's sort of no cars again. We're not really there, but cars are not selling. People can't afford them. Just like they couldn't in World War II. They were not available. Well, they're not available today. They can't sell cars. They got a year or two's worth of cars sitting in parking lots. They can't sell them. And when you do have to get something repaired, you got to take out a small home loan. It's just nuts. You get the energy? Good. So from there, let's move on. So the Oracle card is to the sea. You got to trust your intuition. You are in a place now where you really, you can feel it, but you can't see it. And the 7 up in the right-hand corner says, okay, it's time to think. It's time to give some deep thought. 7's also a good time for meditation, spirituality, which, of course, Neptune is all about. So let's go all the way to the left. Here's the 5 of Cups. Here's a guy who's desolate and has no damn reason to be. He's looking at the 3 spilled cups in front of him. That's all he's paying attention to, but there are 2 full cups behind him. There's a bridge behind him and the castle where he wants to end up. All he's got to do is turn around. All he's got to do is not shut his eyes to the facts. We are in a position using the automobile as kind of a discussion point today of seeing how similar things are. Back at the beginning of the Neptune cycle in the 1890s, the car became practical, sensible. We're now heading on complete Neptune cycle. We're reinventing cars. Good or bad, who knows? And if you use the Uranus cycle, begin again in the 1890s, you will find out that there's a certain aspect that hit during World War II when we couldn't get cars, and now, continuing that Uranus cycle, we're at a point where we really are having a tough time getting cars again. And in fact, they have said they don't want us to drive. So again, no cars, that idea. So the 5 of Cups is looking at what you're missing and dwelling on it rather than saying, okay, got to make it better, got to do something different. And the cups, of course, are emotional attachments. You have to realign your emotional values. You need to do that because the next card is the Knight of Wands. Wands are positivity, excitement, enthusiasm, joy, gratitude. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want in your life. Right now, you're seeing everything taken away, just like this guy in the 5 of Cups. Look, I'm looking at the 3, but I got stuff, but I don't see him. Got to go to the sea. You got to go to the sea. Tap in to your intuition. If your eyes can't see it, your intuition can. And if you can get to that place, the Knight of Wands is the gift, the positivity, enthusiasm, joy, excitement. You can actually perform magic with it. That's the next card, the Magician's card. You realize your potential. You find your determination. Rather than be lost in self-pity, figure out, how the hell do I get out of this? How do I make it better? Your eyes may deceive you. Your ears may deceive you. Your intuition will not. And coincidentally, that is the final card, the Moon card. Talks about illusion. Talks about bewilderment, being deceived, fear. Because even if you have the biggest, brightest full moon you can have, it is not as illuminating as a noontime sun on a clear day. Just not. So you can see parts and pieces, but you have to use your intuition to tie them together. Your senses will not pick up the facts, but you still have your intuition. That is going to the sea. Going to your deepest source of knowledge and knowing. There is potential. We're facing the same energies again. How do we make them work better for us? You have a little history, so you can kind of gauge. But if you give up, you're giving up on yourself, you're giving up on humanity. Don't solely trust your eyes, don't solely trust your ears. Lean into your intuition. Go to the sea that we call spirit. That's the reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another Tao Manifested reading. Please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. I'd appreciate it. Helps with the algorithms and the internet and all that stuff. You know how that works. So between now and the next time you and I get together and manifest tarot together, peace and blessings.